first and foremost, number one, anyone that's watching this back as a video, I am live streaming this on Twitch right now. You can check me out at twitch.tv/thecoder2015. There'll be a link in the YouTube description. But this is a PlayStation 5, which I bought from eBay for, I think it was £160. Really, really cheap compared to what PS5s are going for. And it just got sold as faulty spares and repairs. So I contacted the seller and asked them what was actually up with it. But that was after I actually bought it, because the power supplies on these go for, you know, £140, £150. The disk drive goes for around about £150. So it was an absolute bargain. And I didn't want to wait for the seller to reply to buy it. But basically, I paid £160, I think it was, for this. And I contacted the seller afterwards and said, oh, by the way, do you know what was wrong with it? And the seller come back and she said that it just won't update. So yeah, it kind of piqued my interest a little bit. So I'll show you the messages on YouTube, but like I said, sorry, on eBay. But like I said, if you are watching it back as a video and you're new to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, and yeah, that way you don't miss any future videos. And don't forget to check me out on Twitch as well. I'm live streaming on there right now, so yeah, check me out over on Twitch. I live stream quite regular over there, and yeah, let's take a look at the listing. So if we look at let's look at the order, the listing details first. So won't boot, as you can see from the pictures, a lot of wear and tear, no wires included, just the console. Doesn't work, selling for spares, blah 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 blah. So it was £150 plus £8.5 postage. So that was a bargain. Even if I couldn't get it working, there's definitely more than £150 worth of stuff, parts in it. And it's not a commercial seller. So if you go to the sold listings, this person's only sold one item recently, and that was this PS5. So one of the reasons it piqued my interest is the fact that it is a private seller. But I contacted the seller. Well, the seller actually contacted me and said, basically, thank you for purchasing. We'll post it either tomorrow or Saturday morning. And I said, thanks very much. Could I just ask what actually happens when you attempt to turn it on? It doesn't really make much difference as I buy these to make YouTube videos, but it would be nice to know what I'm dealing with before I attempt to repair it. And she come back and said, it switches on okay, but I can't update the console over Wi-Fi. It downloads, but then it restarts and will ask to update again. It's a constant cycle. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, it's a private seller, and I don't think it's just going to be any kind of scam or anything like that. But there is a but. I have kind of inspected this. I haven't turned it on or anything like that, but I have inspected it when I took it out of the box. It is, you know, the plates are pretty rough, stuff like that. But I've got some black plates that I could put on this anyway. Some pretty much mint condition black plates. The dark plates, but there's what I believe to be liquid damage. So I don't think the seller knew. I don't think the seller would have known that there was liquid damage, but it does look like there's liquid damage on this console. So yeah, let's have a look at that, shall we? So like I said, I am live streaming on Twitch, and if you do want to support me and you head over to Twitch, you can link an Amazon Prime account over there and become a Prime subscriber completely free. Just link Amazon Gaming to Twitch, and then you can subscribe to the channel completely free. It does help me out. But yeah, this is definitely not in the best condition, but I do have some dark plates which I can put on this. But as you'll see here, and I am going to put some gloves on for this because this is absolutely disgusting, we've definitely got a spill, and now my hands are all sticky, and I've got a pube on them. So that's always nice. So now I'm going to have to use some IPA because I just genuinely don't know what this is. So I'll use some IPA on my hands, give them a little bit of sterilisation. But I'm going to put some gloves on because I don't know what it is that's all over the console, but it is definitely liquid damage. Right, okay, so... Ow! That hurts. Why do doctors do that? Like, is that some sort of bondage thing? Anyway, I do not have a clue what this is on here. I am going to just turn it on, but it hasn't been opened, which is good. I'm just going to turn it on and just see what actually happens when I try and update it. But apparently it does turn on. The disk drive made an interesting noise there then. It looks like it is stuck in safe mode. Let's update using the internet. Let's just confirm the issue that the seller was facing. But while I'm doing that, I am going to download a copy of... Actually, no, I can't because I'm using my USB. Hang on. Can't find the Wi-Fi network, blah, blah, blah. Alright, well, I guess I can't do it that way. I'm going to update using USB, so I'm going to download the software. Boom, there we go. Right, see if that picks up the USB. SU101612-1. Multiple USB drives are connected. Disconnect all USB drives, connect only one to use and then try again. Wrong. There's only one connected. That's a strange issue. There's only one drive connected. Very odd indeed. Let's take it apart. Let's get it apart. Let's see if we can figure this out, shall we? I'm too lazy to peel the sticker off, look. Alright. Yeah, so that is definitely liquid damaged. And I've got a feeling that liquid has made its way into that disk drive. Wait, what the? Huh? Am I going to find a dead bird in here? Am I going to find a dead bird in here? Because that is a feather. Number one, what is a feather doing in there? And number two, how did a feather get in there? And number three, what the hell is a feather doing in there? What the hell? Someone give me a sanity check. I'm just going to inspect this ribbon and hello, I think we found a problem. I think we found a problem, doo-dah, doo-dah. I think we found a problem, whoa-dee-doo-dah-day, hey. Whoa-dee-doo-dah-day, whoa-dee-doo-dah-day. I think we found a problem, whoa-dee-doo-dah-day, hey. She's a bit wamboozled, ladies and gentlemen. Wah, wah, wah. So, Ellis on Twitch just asked, what is that cable to? That is the ribbon cable for the disk drive. So, this is what carries the data from the disk drive. So, that is going to explain why this isn't updating. But we still need to take this apart further because we need to figure out why the hell this is coming up with a error code saying too many devices connected. It could be down to that ribbon. Could be down to that ribbon. That could be the exact reason why it's throwing out that error code. We're not going to know until I fully inspect it, but I want to service this anyway because it is desperately in need of a service. So I want to inspect the board fully, knowing that it's water damaged or it's been liquid damaged. So I want to inspect the board fully anyway, regardless. So I will replace that ribbon. You can buy them for about £3 on eBay. I have got some brand new ones, but I've also got one off a disk drive that I sold the other day, and that's a genuine one, so I'll be using that instead. I have got some new ones, but I'll use a used one from a disk drive I sold to a viewer. All right, so I'm gonna look with my eyes. I'm not gonna look under the microscope. I think if there's any liquid damage, I'm gonna spot it. I think this might actually be one of those rare occasions where we can get this working, to be honest. Yep, so the most common area for liquid damage on this, which is down here on this diode here, that's not been affected. I am actually going to inspect this connector under the microscope, saying that, just because we've got liquid damage on that side of the connector, and I'm also going to need to open the disk drive up as well because it has run down there. But that's going to explain the weird noise that we're getting off the disk drive as well. If it can't connect to the board and it can't recognise that it's plugged in, then it's just going to keep on moving the laser. So that answers a couple of questions. And yeah, we've got a little bit of liquid damage around there. Not major, but there is a little bit. I'll heat it up, clean it up, and see how it looks, but we might end up having to change that connector. I'm going to set my hot air at 160 degrees Celsius. Just want to warm whatever this is, I want to warm it up because it's going to make it easier to clean. And by the way, these connectors can take a hell of a lot more heat than you think they can. So 160 degrees Celsius on this connector is absolutely nothing. A bit of isopropyl alcohol. Damn it, you can't even... It's blurred. Whoops, my bad. Sorry, guys. Kyle, thank you, mate. I appreciate that, buddy. Sorry, guys. It was kind of blurred. That's my bad. It's Travis's fault. Travis did it. I don't know what that is, but it's not cleaning up with isopropyl alcohol. I mean, that is pretty gunked up. Yeah, I think that's going to be very likely really badly gunked up inside, because there's something inside the pins. I've got a feeling it's going to be too gunked up inside. Let's have a look. Very, very difficult to get that to focus inside there. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I'm thinking change that connector, because if we look at the state of the ribbon, I mean, this is the board side, so this is the side that goes in there, and that's really bad. Like, that is pretty darn bad. I don't know what that is that's gone on that board, but I think it's going to be needing a replacement, to be honest. So we're going to get rid of this connector, just in case. I know the pins are on the other side, but they'll flow down with the angle the board's at. The flux will flow down with the angle the board's at. I'm at 480 degrees Celsius, by the way. I'm just going to butcher this connector off. Oh, that smells funky. It smells like some sort of juice. Yeah, look under there. If we melt that connector away, it's definitely got some shit underneath it, like inside it. Right, there we go. That's just the easiest way to remove the connector. Oh, I've knocked a resistor there as well. It's all good. Just there, I've knocked a little resistor off. That's to the Wi-Fi IC, but I will replace it. Yeah, so if you look here, we've got a load of gunk here as well. Alright, if you want to know a little trick for getting rid of that little bit of crap, I know that's not going to affect the board, but I don't want it to eat into the board over time, so I'm going to get rid of it. And there's a little trick you can use, because otherwise it's not going to clean off properly. If you just use a bit of wick and flux, even though it's not solder, if you just use a little bit of wick and flux, you can just scrape the area, and that'll act as an abrasive. Look at that there, it's actually started to eat away at that pad, but it'll act as an abrasive and clean up the board. There we go. Cool. Okay, that's actually started to eat some of them wires as well. So, I mean, they look like ground wires to me, so I'm not really that concerned about them, but I'm kind of glad I took the connector off, because by doing so I'm preventing any further damage down the line, and that's very important for the longevity of the repair. Obviously I intend on selling this, so yeah, I don't want to have to deal with warranty returns in 3 weeks time when it fails again because the board hasn't been cleaned up as well as it should have been. I would much rather just deal with it now, spend a bit of extra time now, and make sure it's not going to come back. Right, so there's that. Let's flip the board round a second. Just make sure we've got no damage this side, and it doesn't look like we do. Let's just check these fuses on the disk drive circuit as well, just to make sure that we got no issues. I'll give you £300 for it. You can eat shit and get fucked. Okay, the fuse is good, and so is that one. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Right. There we go. Right, so obviously removing it from the donor board is a little bit more tricky. So I'll hover the board over the edge of the table, and then I'm going to heat up from underneath. The problem is we do have a speaker underneath. I'm not bothered about the one that's on the donor board. Couldn't care less about that speaker. What I do care about is the one on the other side, on the board that I'm working on. There we go. There's my harvested connector. The problem is it's going to absolutely destroy the speaker. So I'm going to try and remove the speaker to save it. The plan is, because I can solder this back on by hand. Like the speaker I can solder back on by hand. The connector I can't. So I think the plan is going to be to desolder the speaker, solder the connector on, and then solder the speaker back on by hand manually. Okay, so drop the connector in place. Ow, that board is incredibly hot. I think that's lined up close enough. So now I can heat up from the other side again. Let that cool down, and that seems okay. I'm just going to grab a replacement resistor. I should have put that on first, to be honest, because now I'm going to have to heat up from the bottom to put this resistor on. There we go. And then Actually, I'm kind of glad I took that off, to be honest. Because look at the state of it under there. So I'm kind of glad that speaker's come off. Or not come off, I'm glad I took it off. Because it is kind of funky under there. Just going to use the wick as an abrasive. That's just going to help it to clean up a little bit easier. Okie doke. So we've got an arrow there, and there's an arrow on the board which tells us which way this goes. Get that to sit down. I was pushing down on this as I'm doing it, by the way. Making a nice contact with the pads. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. One little hint, by the way. Try not to get isopropyl alcohol inside this speaker, because it will make it go a lot quieter than it actually is. Or rather than it's meant to be. So just try and be careful cleaning around it. It's not going to hurt it if the beep's a little bit quieter, but I want to try and avoid that if possible. Yeah, they can be a pain in the backside, to be honest, these connectors can. These have always been one of my least favourite jobs to do, even on the PS4. The PS4 was a pain in the ass as well. Right, that is a lot better. I'm a lot more comfortable calling that good. I know it's a little bit messy around the ground pad, but at least it's not going to cause any further damage down the line. Sort out that liquid metal. Ports all seem okay. So now I've just got to clean out the rest of the housing. Give it a good service. A bit like what I'll do to Travis's mum when Travis goes to sleep. Just trying to get rid of this spill. Don't want to leave it there. I think that's probably good enough. I'm not seeing any liquid damage inside there. I don't think I need to really take that apart any further. It looks clean inside there. Not seeing any liquid on the board. One thing I'm also not seeing is a free disc. So that's a little bit of a wounder. Alright, so I'm not going to put this back together because this here I'm going to soak in a bowl of soapy water before I put it back in. Or rather before I put it back and screw it all back down again. I'm going to soak the housing in water, but I'm also probably going to find out my black plates for this and put those on it, just not in the video. So I'll leave that for now, because I think I might sell it a bit easier with black plates on it. And it gives me a use for the black plates that I've got. So for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is. As long as I can see the fan working, as long as I can get the disk drive working and whatever, then I'm happy to call it good. Moment of truth. Bang. Oh shit, I've left the antenna unplugged. Oh, the speaker's quieter now anyway. Damn it. Knew that was going to happen. You should get louder over time. Should be alright. So now, is it going to work on USB? Please work. That's what I'm talking about. That's going to go through. And it's going to be good. Alright. There we go, look. Right. Well, the question now is it going to go back to safe mode? Or is it actually going to go to the setup screen? It should go through. I think the reason that the update wasn't going through is probably because it couldn't recognise the disk drive, and obviously the seller doesn't understand the error codes or the process for updating. It needs the disk drive there to be able to recognise, to be able to process the update. So if it doesn't see it, then it's just going to keep on boot looping and going back to the update page. So yeah, there we go. Boom. I do need to test the disk drive, so I've got to find a disk. That's what I'm talking about. Wi-Fi. Yep, there we go. And it picks up Resident Evil 2 as well. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. So that's copying the data. It's on 12% copied. Screen and video. Video output 4K. 4K is working fine. There's one more test. We are going to answer the lifelong question: does an Xbox Series X SSD work on the PS5? We're going to answer that lifelong question right now. Okay. Are Microsoft going to get really annoyed when I use an Xbox Series X SSD in a PS5? Ah. Nope. Well, never mind. I had to try. I've been waiting to try for a while. Yeah, that's not bad though, to be fair. I mean, £160 for a PS5. All it needed was a clean and a connector and a ribbon. It cost me probably £10 in parts, so about £170 for this, and I can resell it for £500. I do have the box to it, so put a controller with it and I can get £500 for it easily. And I'm going to put the dark plates on it as well, because that's going to be a little bit easier to sell. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That's awesome. So a little bit of water, well, a little bit of liquid damage, a few bird feathers, you know, the usual. Does anyone remember the time when I found a bird feather inside a PS5? But yeah, in terms of the video, that's going to be it for now. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to let me know what you think down in the comments down below on YouTube, and head over to Twitch if you want to subscribe to me on Twitch and support the channel that way, or you can become a channel member by clicking on the join button below the video. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.